My 1965 Studebaker Commander. I imagine a lot of you look at this and go, what's wrong with you? Well, plenty, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about finding out why I like this car and what I find pretty special about it. So, let's get into that. It seems that for most of us, we can't think outside of the box when it comes to a car. And that's kind of what Studebaker is. It's outside the box. For a lot of people, thinking outside the box doesn't really happen a lot of the times. Most people like the first generation Camaros, or maybe the early Mustangs up to 1973. And a lot of people don't think about other cars, like a Studebaker, or a Rambler, or an AMC, or even better yet, a foreign car, like a Peugeot, or a Citroën, or a Renault. And that's one of the things that I like about this. It's something different. So, because I am thinking outside the box, I actually have options. One of the nice things about the Studebaker is it has a very well supported club that actually was established in 1962 before Studebaker even went out of business. And the wonderful thing about it, sorry about that, is that there is this wealth of knowledge that they're more than willing to share with people. That is in both the magazine that they print every month, Turning Wheels magazine, put out by the Studebaker Drivers Club, and also online, where you can ask questions and find out about things. And also the other thing is there is a ton of parts available for this. And I think that's lost a lot of people. They think, oh, an orphan car, where are you going to find parts for it? Well, one of the things that Studebaker did when it was on its way out of the automotive business to keep their workers working, they produced a lot of excess parts to keep the plant going. So there are a lot of NOS, new old stock parts available for these, from fenders to interior parts. And also there's a lot of reproduction parts being made, which is awesome. So buying one of these and maintaining it and keeping it on the road, I'd say is a lot easier than a lot of Mopar products out there. Because a lot of Mopar products, you can't get anything for parts. And if it is, it's limited. So I guess I'm just trying to let you know that, yeah, I like something that's a little bit different, and that's what this car is. It's something that's different. So this car is an exact copy of the 1964 model year. There's nothing different between the 2 years. And that's because in late 1963, December of 1963, Studebaker had closed down their South Bend, Indiana plant and moved all production up to its Hamilton, Ontario, Canada plant. And so the rest of the 64 model year continued on without the production of the Avanti or pickup trucks or the Hawk line, because those were not models produced in Canada. And the 64 model continued, and the engines that they used were still Studebaker engines. Now, let's delve into a horribly overdubbed bit that explains why 1964 was the last year for a Studebaker built engine and what was done in order to have engines for the 1965 and 1966 years for Studebaker. The end of the 1964 model year run also came the end of engine production from Studebaker in Indiana. Needing an engine for the 1965 model year, Studebaker of Canada tried out both Ford and General Motors engines and determined with minimum modification the 194 six-cylinder and 283 V8 from General Motors would work as a suitable substitute for an engine for the 1965 model year. Isn't it nice that I can overdub my voice and it doesn't match at all with what I'm saying? Look out! It's Sasquatch! Yes, for you eagle-eyed viewers, that does look like a GM engine because, well, it is a GM engine. This is a 283 that was built by the McKinnon Industries, which was a GM subsidiary. It's a 283. And you might be saying, oh, it's a Chevy. Actually, it's a Canadian Pontiac engine. So this car has a GM built engine in it. which probably surprises a lot of people, which I think can give you more options. If you think about it, why does it give me a lot of options? With a small block GM V8, I can purchase a crate engine and put it in this thing if this engine dies. It gives me plenty of options. There's even the thought if I wanted to put throttle body injection on this, they make plenty of those options available for a small block V8. So, there are plenty of possibilities for the driveline of this vehicle. Yeah, it's a Studebaker, it's different, it doesn't matter. Now, let's delve into what it is about this car that drew me towards this particular vehicle. There's a couple things. So, let's go into some overdubbing photographs to see what that's about. This is the first Studebaker that I ever bought. It's a 1964 Commander, and it's painted Bermuda brown. And I nicknamed it Mr. Hanky after the South Park character. So that explains why I chose a Studebaker. Now you're looking at this and you're like, a 65 Chevelle? What does that have to do with buying a 65 Commander? Well, this particular car belonged to folks that were friends of the family, and they were like grandparents to me. And I grew up riding in this car. And when I was in my early 20s, I was able to buy this car. And unfortunately, the car developed rod knock, and I did not have the time, the money, nor the space to repair it. So this went to the junkyard. And this right here is the closest I can get to replacing a car like that. Because there is no way I'd be able to afford buying a 1965 Chevelle in any kind of decent condition for a decent price. So this car makes up for it because it's the color, as you saw. And the other thing is it has a 283 just like the Chevelle did. So I'd like to thank you for coming along and spending time with me as I delved into why I chose this 1965 Commander. And once again, thank you for watching.